Hey, it's Jang here from UltimateRC.com with a review of the Katana. This is made by Himoto and sold under different brand names around the world. I got it from NitroRCX.com. It comes for about $190 ready to run, and they use the Iron Track brand name. This is a 1/10 scale 4-wheel drive stadium truck, or NitroRCX calls it a truggy. Also sold in this series and based on the exact same chassis platform, they have a buggy, a short course truck, and a monster truck. They vary mostly in wheels and tires, body, and A-arm length. Speaking of A-arms, these vehicles use a double wishbone sort of setup at the front, and camber is not adjustable. The steering toe links and rear camber links are also solid pieces of plastic and cannot be adjusted. The shocks are plastic bodied and use clips to adjust your preload, but no such clips are included with the package. Now from the factory, my shocks were underfilled and the fluid is way too thin. To keep the truck from bottoming out over every single bump, I had to take out all the stock shock oil and replace it with 100 weight oil. Now they sell cheaper brushed versions of these vehicles, but I got a brushless version with a 540 size motor, and that's hooked up to a cam style mount for adjusting gear mesh. The ESC is a 45 amp unit from Hobbywing and it's supposed to be waterproof. However, the servo is not, so don't go looking to drive through a bunch of deep puddles. The wheels have a 2.8 inch diameter and they use standard 12mm hexes. The tires have an okay tread pattern, but it's a little bit on the shallow side, and the rubber compound is also a little bit hard. Now I got the almost ready to run receiver ready version of this vehicle, but the ones that are RTR come with this radio. It's pretty basic, but 2.4 GHz with trims, reversing, and dual rates for both channels. On flat ground with a 5000 mAh LiPo, this vehicle topped out at 13 miles per hour. I was hoping it would be a little bit faster than that, given that you can find some two-wheel drive brushed vehicles that'll go that fast. The tires are a bit lacking in traction as expected, but the 4-wheel drive pretty much makes up for that entirely. The truck is pretty stable over dirt and gravel, and the 100 weight shock oil that I used seemed like a good starting point for all-around use. If you're going to do a lot of jumping, you probably want to go even thicker than that. I found that with the default setup on my radio, I only had to turn the wheel a little bit to reach full maximum physical lock on the steering. I ended up having to turn my dual rate setting all the way down to about 65%. Anything higher would just slowly burn out that poor little servo. On a hard-packed off-road track, I was able to get enough traction to be able to see more what the speed and acceleration is like, and also I was able to test out the jumping attitude. It jumps nicely, again with the 100 weight shock oil. With the stock oil, it would have just slapped the chassis everywhere. Like this though, it seemed pretty well composed. My only complaint was that the steering would get a little bit wonky sometimes coming out of turns. It would feel random, like it was turning in whatever direction it wanted to for just a split second. The servo has enough torque for this lightweight vehicle and it's fast enough, but look at all this play in the steering column. That slop comes from all of the inner linkages as well as the servo saver. There's really no easy way to fix it. Sucking that up and just living with it, my next issue was just driving around still on that very first battery pack. I noticed the truck seemed to have 3-wheel drive all of a sudden. Well, that explains it. The dog bone simply popped out, evidently from the A-arms flexing from just landing jumps. Now that left me worried. If a part's going to pop out from just regular driving around, how will this vehicle possibly stand up to Yeah, that broke. And it's not like I can just replace the shock tower, because the shock tower and the whole top of the diff case are all one piece. Now interestingly, even though the edges of the material are fairly sharp, suggesting that they're brittle, I wasn't able to break it off on my own. It actually showed a little bit of flex. Nope, quite a lot of flex. So why did it break so quickly and so easily? I don't know. Maybe one of those hits was harder than it looked like. Perhaps it was just a fluke. Well, I'm going to say buyer beware about this vehicle, and not just on account of durability. The performance is just okay for the price, a little bit on the sluggish side for a brushless RTR. The slop in the steering is worse than the norm for entry-level vehicles. Popping out dog bones during just normal driving can get really annoying really fast. The stock tires were actually okay on traction thanks to the 4-wheel drive, but they did wear out very quickly. After less than 3 packs of driving, they were halfway gone. And then there's the question of parts support. You can pretty easily find parts for the previous generation of 1/10 scale electric Himotos on eBay and Amazon and other places online. Again, there are multiple brand names that all carry the same stuff from the same OEM. But this is a brand new chassis, and it remains to be seen how well it'll be picked up by all those brands. NitroRCX.com, where I got this truck, already does have all the replacement parts you need, but as of the time of this video, there are no upgrade parts in case you find anything that just keeps breaking the same way every time. There also aren't many components that you'll be able to cross over from other brands to use as replacements. So, thumbs up, thumbs down? I'm going to give this one thumbs sideways. Shop around and consider all of your options. That's it for this review. Thanks very much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for more, and I hope to see you on the friendly forums at ultimaterc.com. Bye for now.